I want to keep talking about trade for now, though. We've been talking a ton about this trade fiasco that's been caused by Donald Trump. And it's actually a problem with many of our allies, but right now it's acutely a problem with Canada. And most of our conversations are either about trade, sort of generally. We've talked about the sources of the tariffs that actually exist between the United States and Canada. Some of the Canadian tariffs on US products are a response to either US tariffs or US subsidies, as I spoke about with the dairy industry. We've talked about the trade balance. That's something Donald Trump also really likes to talk about. We've also explored Donald Trump's general incompetence on trade. But one thing we haven't talked about yet is another way in which the entire thing can blow up in Donald Trump's face, which it's likely to do, and that's called boycotts. A Canadian boycott of both American products and of traveling to the United States has started slowly, but especially over the last 10 to 14 days is building more and more. There's another movement that is focused specifically on encouraging Canadians not to travel to the United States, to cancel their planned travel to the United States. And many Canadians are actually doing it. And there are Canadian websites that provide information to Canadians about whether products are made in the United States or not, so that Canadians can, if they want to, opt for the non-American products. And when I tell you about this, I know that I'm going to get right-wing nuts emailing me saying, David, go back to Argentina or Israel or wherever it is you're from, and stop taking pleasure in the boycotting of American businesses. And I'm not reporting it to you because I'm taking pleasure in it. I'm reporting it to you because it pains me and I want to stop it. We need to have a total stop to the ruining of our geopolitical relationships by Donald Trump. This isn't fun and games, right? Jobs depend on what Trump tweets and his harebrained ideas. People's livelihoods depend on the actions of the president. And I hate to break it to you, but it's not just Canadian tourists that are bailing on traveling to the United States. We told you in January of 2018 about travel data from 2017 to the United States. And a lot of countries are drastically reducing their travel to the United States. The US can manage without it. It's not going to end the United States economy, but jobs are going to be lost and it won't be good for the economy. The data for 2017 was that $4.6 billion and about 40,000 jobs were lost as a result of other countries' citizens reducing their tourism to the United States, much of that attributed, of course, to the presidency of Donald Trump. And I hate the boycotts. The boycotts are bad for friends of mine who own businesses. They're bad for people I don't even know. I mean, can you imagine? I can actually empathize with people that I don't even know, and it's bad for them. But this could be an effective way to take a stand if people do it. We know that bookings in Trump's hotels, even Trump branded hotels, not owned by Trump, but where the name is licensed to Trump, have been taking a hit. I have family, very anecdotally, in Argentina that is specifically saying, you know, we usually go to the US every 2 or 3 years. We're due for that, but we're not going to go. We're going to go elsewhere because we simply don't want to go when Donald Trump is president of the United States. If you're wondering whether Trump even cares, I kind of doubt it. I kind of doubt it. And it's yet another way in which he said he was going to look out for the little guy. He said he was going to look out for the middleman, the middle class, but it's just not happening. And so far, it doesn't actually seem like his supporters are punishing him for it. And that's the scariest thing in the context of the upcoming midterm elections. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the program. Join the discussion with more than 6,000 of our viewers and listeners on our subreddit Trade, a big topic of discussion there, as well as Paul Manafort going to jail and lots of the other things we discussed on today's show. davidpakman.com/REDDIT is where you find the subreddit. Quick break, new and improved shorter breaks on the David Pakman Show coming up next. Today's program is sponsored in part by Movement. Movement don't just make great watches, they also make great sunglasses and have just released a bunch of new styles to get you ready for the warm weather. I've talked about the problems I've had with sunglasses, namely losing really expensive sunglasses and then feeling like I was completely ripped off. Our friends at Movement felt the same way. So they made quality, trendy sunglasses at a fair price. They're not made from cheap plastic. They're actually made from acetate. You can get them polarized. They start at $70. Many styles to choose from. I went with the aviator style when I went on my road trip from Los Angeles, California to San Francisco, California a few weeks ago. And I only sat on them twice, and they completely resisted my full weight. And that was a really, really great thing. You can find your perfect pair and get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns at mvmt.com/Pakman. You remember Movement for how they revolutionized the watch industry. I'm still wearing my MVMT watch. You can now check out their sunglasses at mvmt.com/Pakman. Join the movement.